Welcome to Matri Academy. Let's begin the chapter 21 polymerase chain reaction. Let's start the chapter polymerase chain reaction. PCR was invented by Carey B. Mullis in 1985. Question asked in ARS NET 2007 and 2013. PCR is an in vitro method of amplification of DNA fragment developed by Carey B. Mullis at Cetus Corporation, USA. Question asked in IARI 2004, ARS 2013. Tag polymerase is related to PCR. ICR JRF 99 question. The most crucial discovery of gene amplification is due to thermostable DNA polymerase. Tag DNA polymerase was discovered by Thomas Dale Brock, an American microbiologist in Yellowstone National Park. It lacks 3' to 5' exonuclease proofreading activity. Optimum temperature required for tag DNA polymerase in PCR is 70 to 75 degrees centigrade. In a thermal cycler, the double standard DNA is denatured by applying high temperature, generally 94 degrees centigrade. Question asked in ARS NET 2001. During primer extension in a PCR, as a thumb rule, 12 minutes per 1 kb is good enough. Usually, primers in PCR are used in a concentration of 1 micromolar, which is sufficient for at least 30 cycles of amplification. Under normal conditions, the amount of tag DNA polymerase becomes limiting after 30 cycles of application in PCR. The exponential amplification of PCR products occurs up to 20 cycles only. In PCR, the best results are obtained when the period of extension is kept at the rate of 1 minute per kb of the target sequence and the extension step is carried out at 68 degrees centigrade in place of 72 degrees centigrade. If cloning of PCR product is to be done, use Wnt polymerase since tag polymerase does not have 3' to 5' exonuclease proofreading activity. In PCR, which polymerase enzyme should be used which is also having proofreading activity? PFU polymerase or Wnt polymerase? Question asked in ARS 2007. In PCR, melting temperature of primer is target sequence is calculated as melting temperature is equal to 4 into G plus C plus 2 into A plus T. Melting temperature of any DNA duplex is the temperature at which the two strands of the duplex dissociate or denatured. The ideal annealing temperature is usually 1 to 2 degrees centigrade lower than the melting temperature of the template primer duplex. In general, PCR is able to efficiently amplify DNA sequence of up to 3 kb, but ideally this length should be less than 1 kb. Valence rule. Melting temperature is equal to 4 into number of GC base pairs plus 2 into number of AT base pairs. Which of the PCR variation used for synthesizing a single standard copy of DNA, that is asymmetric PCR? It uses both of the primers in a ratio of 100:1. This variation of PCR is used for DNA sequencing. Question asked in ARS NET 2001. PCR does not utilize restriction enzymes. IARI 2003 question. Which is the best method for gene cloning when gene sequences are known to us? That is PCR, polymerase chain reaction. Question asked in IARI 2003. PCR product yield can be calculated as PCR product yield is equal to input target DNA amount into 1 plus percentage efficiency whole power the cycle number. Primer of PCR should be 16 to 24 nucleotide longs as primers of this length maintained specificity, that is, the chance of finding the same sequence by chance is only 1 in 4 to the power 20. The two primers should be spaced 150 to 500 base pair apart. Flanking sequences can be amplified and cloned by inverse PCR. Site-directed mutagenesis can be induced by overlap extension of PCR. Next is the high throughput genome sequencing. It is very important for ARS NET. These are the two methods: the whole genome shotgun method, used in the sequencing of prokaryotic genomes which are less repetitive, and hierarchical sequencing method, also known as clone by clone approach, requires construction of genetic linkage map of an organism. Next is the NGS technology, next generation sequencing technology, full form asked in ARS 2012. Use three platforms for sequencing. First, 454 pyro sequencing platform, in which 400 to 500 nucleotides can be sequenced at a stretch. Next one is Solexa, 100 nucleotides can be sequenced at a stretch. And last one is the Solid. It is recognized from the ABI company. 50 nucleotides can be sequenced at a stretch. These are all about the short sequence of polymerase chain reaction. So let's tune to my channel. Always like and subscribe and wait for the next coming short notes. Okay, thank you.